You all right?
Yeah.
Where's the other driver?
I think that might be him. He was in a big truck. Got hit by a dump truck and somehow
Ran over by a dump truck.
and lost the court case.
Lost the, yeah. So, how long ago was this?
That was November. It was 2 days before my sister-in-law's wedding, which was November 2nd, so end of October. November 1st.
So I get a phone call. November 1st. And
Helpless phone call.
Caleb's crying. This is, you know, it's not unusual because when Caleb normally calls me, he's crying. You know what I mean? No, he's not crying. Caleb's like, yo, I wrecked the bike. It got run over by a dump truck. I'm right down the street. I'm like, do I need to bring the trailer? He's like, yeah, you got to bring the trailer.
I think my exact words were, yeah, there's no way we're getting this back. There's no way I'm riding this back.
So, you want to film in before?
Yeah, so I had just been to breakfast with my brother and all my friends.
You were drunk, right?
I was off coffee. I drank like 12 cups of coffee. I was on caffeine high.
Like 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it's like 7:30 in the morning. I'm driving away from breakfast, and I'm coming down the road that we drive 30,000 times a day. And honestly, I never would have thought that would have happened right there, but it did. And I just come up to the thing, and the whole shebang just unfolds in front of me.
All right, guys, just got a call from Caleb. This is not good. He just told me he's been in a wreck with the Dyna. I asked him, I was like, he's like, you gotta come get me. I asked him if I need to bring the trailer, and he said, yeah, you gotta come, it's pretty bad. All right, so let's go. He said he was just down the road right here. They say most accidents happen about a mile away. Oh, shoot. Oh my gosh. Where's the other person? Where the heck's the other driver at?
You all right?
Yeah.
Where's the other driver?
I think that might be him. He was in a big truck. He went in the lane like he was turning. I didn't see any turn signals come on. And then as I'm like coming up to get parallel with him, he just starts cutting right over to my lane, and I was like, you got it. So I slammed on the brakes. When I slammed on the brakes, he drove over the bike.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're all right. Thank you, though. And he almost drove over my leg. He was like this close from grabbing over my leg. But,
Witness?
When the bike's getting run over, where were you at?
well, that's the thing. I thought my leg was gonna get run over. So I went down, and the guy, he rolled right over top, and I was like, oh my gosh. So like, dude, I was probably about this far from my leg getting run over by that dump truck.
So he's in the straight lane, the go straight end, turn right lane, and a dump truck starts merging into him. He lays the bike down. Dump truck runs over the part of the bike.
And a lot of people have said like, well, maybe you didn't notice the turn signal was on, or like maybe you didn't notice certain things. You notice a dump truck that's right in front of you.
Right.
That's gigantic. So just throwing that out there.
I roll up to the scene, and I'm looking around. I'm looking for like fire engines, police, someone. I'm the first responder.
Yeah.
I'm the first person there. I just waltzed up in there. And all this stuff is on video. If you actually want to go watch the video, that's pretty good. This is kind of what happens after that. I roll up there. The person that ran Caleb over actually left the scene.
He just rolled out.
He just ducked out.
Literally rolled out.
And a local school bus driver saw what happened, chased him down, and made him come back. So all that stuff happens. We load the bike up. The bike is done. It's destroyed. We load the bike back up, take it back. I actually go back there, and there's Caleb's skid marks and stuff like that. I make a drone video showing exactly what happened, using forensics and science, and I sent it to the police. I sent it to the police station. They reviewed it, and they're like, yeah, you know what? I mean, they're like, it didn't sway us anyway because we were already on that side.
Yeah.
We were gonna citate.
Citation.
Give a citation?
Give a citation. I think.
We're going to cite.
We're going to cite him.
Cite.
Yeah.
We were going to cite the other driver.
He fled pretty quick.
He fled pretty quick. So then, now we're dealing with the insurance company. This is where things start getting very unusual. We both have the exact same insurance company, which is where I think the problem arises.
Politics, man.
So my insurance adjuster is working with their insurance adjuster. I'm telling my guy, I'm like, hey, listen, the police cited him. The police said he was in the wrong. My insurance guy is like, well, the other insurance adjuster who's representing the other party says that you guys were in the wrong.
Wait, what else are they going to say?
So we're going to split it 50-50. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, well, we're going to do our own internal investigation. And they're doing this because honestly, the other guy's insurance adjuster was a bulldog. This guy was all over it. At one point in time, the other guy who owned the trucking company was talking about suing us.
Yeah, for him running over us.
Right. Didn't even put a scratch on the tire of his truck that he ran over my motorcycle.
Right.
So we're going back and forth. This is getting kind of ridiculous. Yeah, so I showed them the drone footage. I showed them the video. And it was very cut and dry as to what happened. And they were like, well, we'll split it 60-40. Well, you only have to cover 40% of it. And I'm like, there's no way. I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous.
The police had already said it was their fault.
Right, it was very clear. So, but they want to do their own investigation. They dive into it. Honestly, what it came down to is, we've got a dealership. We pay a certain amount of money for insurance. Right. He's got a large trucking company. He pays a significantly larger amount, and so he's throwing around more money. He's also he's kind of like a loose cannon.
Yeah.
From what I was seeing from the situation. A couple weeks later, we get a call from my insurance guy. He's like, well, you guys are now it's on you. I'm like, what do you mean? It was on us. I'm like, the police were on our side. He's like, yeah, the police actually it went to court and it went to favor on them because apparently they have a witness. They had a witness that said it was your guy's fault. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There's no court. He was like, yeah. So I actually call the police station. I walked down there. We know the police officers.
Yeah, they're cool.
I walked down there and I'm like, hey, what happened? And they're like, oh yeah, Caleb was subpoenaed. And we look into it. She's like, yeah, he was subpoenaed, but we got the wrong address. And we didn't find out that he wasn't actually subpoenaed. They didn't actually catch him until the day of the court hearing, and we couldn't come get him.
Yeah.
Now you could hit a golf ball to from our shop
right.
to the police station. It's right over there.
You don't have to be good at golf.
Right, you're mediocre.
Mediocre at golf.
And so I asked her what happened. She's like, well, because you guys who are, I guess I'll read the defendant.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're
one of the parties. Because we didn't show up, they threw the case out. Now, because they threw the case out,
the other side wins.
That means, right, the other guy wins. So what my insurance guy said was not true at all. It's not that they had some testimony that proved us wrong. It's that the court never actually got Caleb to testify on his side, and that's what happened.
Which we would have totally done. We would have totally just gone and testified and been like, yeah, no, it's not our fault. We would have made
a video about it. It would have been great. It would have been a lot of fun. Oh, hold up. The flashback to right after you got hit, 2 days later, I'm over at a men's retreat, which I know sounds like super gay. Unless you go to church and that's like a normal thing, like all the guys just go to men's retreat and hang out. I'm at a men's retreat. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. I notice a text message from Caleb that says that he sent me at 4 o'clock. Yeah. He's like, I'm sick, throwing up blood. I can't go to work tomorrow. I'm going to the hospital. At this point, we had like 6 motorcycles leaving that morning.
Yeah.
This is Saturday morning. We had 6 motorcycles leaving that morning. I'm in the Poconos. I'm 3 hours away. It's pouring down rain, and I'm driving a Honda F6B. So no one else could do it. We had two customers picking up bikes and 5 bikes that are getting picked up by the shipper that have to get there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I jump on my bike. I ride in. No joke. I'm going over these crazy hills. It's all wet and stuff like that. I'm cruising. There was a moment that I'm riding down these crazy back roads, and a deer just walked before me, and a deer was about to walk. Like two deer are in the road. I thread the needle, drive right through.
Oh my! Was your heart palpitating?
It was crazy, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I go back to the insurance company, and I'm like, hey, that's not what you guys told me was not what happened. What really happened because my insurance adjuster was hearing what his insurance adjuster said,
Right.
and his insurance adjuster was hearing what his client was saying.
Right.
So I told him what actually happened. I'm like, the case was thrown out. They didn't win the case. And they ended up paying us for the bike. Now, the way it works with insurance companies, when you're a dealership, you don't get like full retail value like you would if you were a customer, which is awesome. You get what you owe on it or what wholesale value is worth.
Right.
And you get the least one.
Right.
So it's more for like if the shop burned down, we would get probably what we paid for it.
We wouldn't make any money.
For every bike. We wouldn't make any money off it.
Right.
It would just, we wouldn't die the next month. You know what I mean? So we ended up dealing with that. They ended up coming. They did total the bike. We tried to get them not to total it.
It was a lot of
because the frame
damage.
was good. They said about like $14,000. I think they stopped at $14,000 for the damage.
It was high. It was high.
And we were like, can we not total it so we can fix it back up and keep it a clean title? But they wouldn't do it for us.
And the price they wanted for it to buy it back was crazy high.
It was so big because you have people selling stuff on Coparts. People are paying big money on Coparts.
Yeah.
So what we thought was we're like, oh, we'll just keep an eye on the bike, and we'll keep an eye on Coparts, and maybe we'll buy it back. We'll do a build. We'll put it back together. And I never saw it at Coparts.
Yeah, it was crazy high. I just remember what they wanted for it was just insane.
They wanted like I think $4,000 or something for it.
Yeah, which is like not that far off of retail of that bike.
It was crazy money.
Yeah.
I think they maybe paid us 36.
Something like that.
I guess they didn't want $4,000. That sounds crazy. Whatever. It didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense for us to keep it.
The number of what they paid us versus what we were going to buy it back for was almost like identical. I remember that.
Because bare bones of us trying to
Right.
put it back together would have cost us like $6,000.
Yeah, and then it
I
was-
needed tins and bars.
Yeah,
and
you'd be
wheels
way
and
underneath.
stuff like that. So I think that wraps it up.
So that's the story. It's pretty crazy
Yeah, that's the total story.
of how we wrecked a motorcycle and somehow lost. Got hit by a dump truck and somehow
Ran over by a dump truck.
and lost the court case.
Lost the yeah. That's our life.
It's crazy.
Well, any other experience that I have with insurance companies
It's usually
are normally
good.
great.
Yeah.
Because I get to. If it was not my own insurance company,
Yeah.
I would have loved it.
Yeah.
Because I would have fought it, and they would have given us like full retail for it.
Yeah. It really sucked too because like the guy, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but the guy who was our adjuster just did not seem to want to help us. Like he didn't seem to want to be on our side. Like if we'd had the other insurance adjuster,
Right.
somehow we would have like a new shop.
We would have won.
We would be like, we'd be visiting the president at the White House.
Yeah.
It would have been insane. No idea.
Yeah, I think whenever I get the chance, I might just look for a new insurance company.
It's not a bad idea.
But that's my life. All right, guys, that wraps it up. Don't forget to subscribe. See you guys later.